You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? I'm your boy, your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. And today we have yet another legend, a living legend, the one and only Mr. Todd McFarlane. What's poppin', Todd? How are you?
What are you doing today, Al?
Well, I'm talking to the Toddfather. We're going to be talking all about Gunslinger and some Scorched, man, because I'm so excited, Todd, as a lifelong Spawn fan. Seeing this explosion of the Spawn universe is just bewildering. I'm all in it. Head first, I'm diving.
Okay. Well, we're going to do this, but I've got 2 hours to get the book to the printers. So they're screaming for the book. So I'm just buttoning up the last pages, right? So there it is one of the pages here.
Oh, sexy.
So today is D-Day to the printers. Yep.
Isn't that fun? Don't feel any pressure, right? Come on, they got to wait on you. You're the legend.
They've got printing presses they got to get going. So I can't mess them up too much.
I hear you. Let's talk about this. Gunslinger Spawn, the #1 biggest launch of a new superhero title in the comics industry in the past 25 years. How do you keep doing this, Todd? How do you keep making these explosive books that come out with such a bang?
It may just be sort of being at the right place at the right time. There was a downswing of 15, 20 years where books and comics weren't really selling that well. So no matter what was coming out, we weren't getting sales, whether it was Image, Marvel, DC, whoever. So even the best titles were getting beat up there for about 10 or 15 years. So we happen to be on an upswing. So it allows me to say, oh, well, since, nobody was really buying a lot of books in the last sort of 20 years prior, I don't even have to look at those numbers. I have to, for the most part, go prior to 15, 20 years. So all of a sudden you're into the 20th century and you're not in the 21st century anymore.
Gotcha. Shout out to Allison. She says you're the reason she started drawing. And why the selection of the great Mr. Brett Booth? I mean, I love his heart. I remember his days in Image and all and whatnot and X. I mean, how come choosing him to do the Gunslinger?
He was super easy. He just draws his ass off and it looks really cool, right? I mean, he draws a better Gunslinger than I ever could. So at some point, you got to get smart to make sure you get people that are actually better than you, Al. So Greg Capullo draws a better Spawn than I do, and Brett Booth draws a way better Gunslinger than I do. So cool, right? This is easy stuff. So.
Excellent, yeah. And I mean, for this first release, you're gonna have some awesome covers. I mean, right? Kirkman.
Yeah,
is doing one. They're going to be interconnecting. I mean, yeah, right. It's going to interconnect a cover G with 2 other releases.
Yeah. So that one here is the one that's going to connect to we did one that was for King Spawn, and then you're going to get the Scorched, and by the time you put them all together, it's going to be over 100 characters on it to solidify the fact that this is a Spawn universe. So,
God, Todd, this was such a long journey to get the Spawn universe going. I mean, I've been following for such a long time, so I'm in it.
Here's the thing that's interesting now. Like, see all those characters?
Yes.
Right? They've all been in the Spawn universe. That's a thing that when you do 300 issues of a comic book, even if you're only doing one character other than Spawn each issue, you've got 300 characters, right?
Yes.
So it's not like I have to invent a bunch of them to launch the universe. There's a bunch of them already here. So the question is, how many more can I add to the equation in the coming years? So.
I see you creating a much larger universe. I mean, because we're talking about 4 new #1s just this year alone that hasn't been done since '92, right?
Yes. So we're gonna rock and roll, dude. Don't worry.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry about it. We got lots and lots of crazy ideas here. Look, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek here. One of the pages.
Sneak.
I said, Brett, hey, what do you like to draw? He goes, dinosaurs. So issue number one, I'm gonna let him draw dinosaurs. Now, you may say, what do dinosaurs and Western cowboy have to do with each other? Nothing. But Brett wanted to draw dinosaurs. So here's the thing. If you look at this picture, see the guy at the bottom?
Yes.
That's the bad guy. Okay?
Hmm.
So what do I give a shit where he's standing? Right? So he happens to be in a dinosaur museum he happens to own. Okay. Now Brett gets to draw dinosaurs. I don't care where he's talking about his sinister plan. It can be in the back alley, it can be in a deli, it could be at the zoo, and it could be at a dinosaur. It could be at a NASCAR race. I don't care. Tell me as an artist what you like. I'll make sure that I get some of those images close to you. What's important is the bad guy is having a clandestine meeting and planning to take over the world. Who cares where he's standing when he says those words? So.
Yeah, I can't wait. And there's also a 1 in 250 incentive cover that you got. What's popping there? Do you have a sample of it?
I don't know if we just I know it's up on the screen right now.
Yeah,
we did it with the King Spawn. It went over pretty big. So this one we're gonna just do it again. I think we did about 1,700 of the King Spawn ones. I think this one's gonna be closer to like 1,100 or something like that.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Ooh, collectors better jump on that bad boy. I mean, it's going to be a 48-page color book, $5.99, a 10-point stock cover, available everywhere. I mean, that's fire, brother.
Yeah. The I don't know, and we're going to go. I think the 10-point isn't the same as the cardboard that we're doing with the $2.99s. I don't know if you've seen those. How the new cover is so rigid. So, but moving forward with issue 2, it'll be $2.99, and besides $2.99, it'll also have the cardboard cover. So it'll be really, really super cool. So, and I was just talking to Brett today. We're on issue 4. So
perfect. Because I was actually going to ask you, how far along are we? And I mean, how many stories are you already, fixed into your brain that we're going to go with Gunslinger?
We got, and there's some at the end of 3. I think we got a really cool ending, and then it's just gonna get crazy at 4. So we got lots of it. We got lots of big stuff. New villain in issue 3, and then the return of a classic character a little bit in 4, and then it just gets crazier from there.
Wow. And let's talk about the other book that everybody's also anticipating, driving people nuts, The Scorched.
Yeah. So
tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Team book. It'll be a team book, and it'll be for sure the biggest experiment book, because if you buy Spawn, you're going to want Spawn, right? If you buy King Spawn, you expect Spawn. If you buy Gunslinger, you expect Gunslinger. But when you get to the Scorched, I can play with characters coming in and out and rotating, and so I'll be able to introduce new characters, bring in some of the oldies, but gold, and then just listen to the fans and see what it is that they want. So,
and somebody here is just asking, Basement Boy Banter, shout out to Thor. He goes, "Are we getting Gunslinger's horse in the new Spawn line?" Everybody went nuts over that figure too.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yes, Basement Boy, there we go. You're gonna get that bad boy soon. And are we gonna get? All right, you said it has about 300 characters on those interconnecting covers. Are we going to get 300 toys?
No, about no, easy. There's about 100 on those 3 connecting covers.
Oh, okay. So are we going to get figures for each or what? You think?
Potentially, at least the ones I think either look cool or popular. Then the answer is absolutely. So,
are you going to have your own Scorched line within the toy line?
Wow, I'm trying to think. There's already a Redeemer. There's already a She Spawn. There's already a gunslinger. There's already obviously a Spawn, and then I'm trying to think who the other character. Oh, medieval. We got another medieval coming. So yeah, you could put the Scorched together here pretty soon. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Now I need to see a box set of that. Of course, you guys.
Right.
I'm already seeing it. I'm loving it.
Right. Absolutely.
So with Gunslinger, how much more of his story are we gonna get in the here and now? How far? When is this epic battle gonna happen? Because obviously people know Gunslinger's origin. There's a lot of crazy stuff going there.
Again, I'm going to peel his origin slowly. I see him more like what I thought was cool about Wolverine when I was a kid. That it was like they didn't really give me everything at the beginning, and it drove me crazy, and I wanted to know more. So I think Gunslinger is going to fall into that same category.
Beautiful.
But there will be a couple of sort of things in the first issue that, if you're paying attention, you'll go, hey, did he just give us a piece of information? Right. So there's a throwaway panel. It's a throwaway to me, but it actually is in that one panel. He basically explains why his hat is tall. Right.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, I'm not making a big deal out of it, but it's just very quickly he says something and you just go, whoa, what did you just say? What's happening? Okay, that's why he's got a bit of a tall hat. Okay, that makes sense. Boom, and you move on. But his motivation, being able to move from the Western times back to modern as he does flashbacks, I think it's going to be a fun book that I'm going to be able to do a little bit of both, right? Like this page I'm working on now is one of the backup stories that's completely in the Western motif.
Okay.
That is kind of cool. To me, he just, outlaw Josie Wales, a few dollars more, hang him high, those sort of cool spaghetti westerns. And
that's exactly how I see him. I see him as, what if Clint Eastwood was a Spawn?
Well, what if it was a 24-year-old Clint Eastwood, right?
Oh, so, man, nuts, right?
I'll give a bit of a hint to people. When you read the book, every line that Gunslinger says, there's no humor in it. He says it
deadpan.
So even if it may come across as humorous, even if it may come across as, oh, that was kind of funny, at no point is he attempting to be funny. So, and the reason that some of it may come off a little bit funny is because he's now a guy 200 years out of time and he can't figure shit out. And so it may come off as him looking like a boomer, but it's just him just going like, what the hell, right? And not how do you drive a rocket ship, but even just basic stuff, right? So, I'm not that I have it in the first issue, but we just go like this with our door and we lock it because there's a little switch on it, right? Okay, 200 years ago, they didn't have that little tumbler. So he wouldn't know how to even just lock a door. So, okay. So all this is going to matter. I mean, he'll adapt, obviously, over time. But sometimes when I see movies and TV shows that have people out of time, I think they adjust way, way, way too quickly for my, he's you're going to find out another piece about him in issue number 1 that you go, hopefully you'll say, oh, wow, I hadn't thought about that. Makes sense. But not only does it make sense, that's going to be a problem for him, right? Because how does he fix that? That's not an easy fix. That's not one that you can just say, hey, here's how you make toast now with a toaster, right? You can teach somebody that fairly quickly. But
we hope.
But he's going to have a couple of deficiencies that are going to hold him back. And the problem is he's already. The other thing I'm going to do is let everybody know all the Spawns are not created equal, and he's not anywhere close to being one of the strong ones, which is why he's got to be a badass because he's like shit. It's go time, right? I'm going to have to I'm gonna have to use these gifts that I've got called my hands and my wits, and let's just go. How do I figure this out?
Excellent. Someone here is asking a question. 6 out of 6 element. He says, "Is Gunslinger inspired by Stephen King's Dark Tower character?"
No.
Simple enough. There you go.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. Very few things I do are inspired directly by any one thing. What they are is an amalgamation of all the things I've seen or been exposed to or liked as a kid, and then I just do it. So what is Gunslinger Spawn? Gunslinger Spawn is just a badass. He's just a badass, and so he just happens to come in form of a cowboy. But are there badass bikers? Uh-huh. Are there badass police? Uh-huh. Are there badass doctors? Uh-huh. Are there badass superheroes? Yeah, Wolverine's one of them. The Punisher. Cool, right? Just dudes. So he's just one of those type of characters. So it's not like, oh my God, I saw something and I'm going to make a knockoff version of it. It's not that. It's like what should the Western guy feel like? He should just be this guy that we saw in the movies where he just opens up the saloon doors and everybody looks at him, right? And you just know, you don't want to pull the tail on that tiger because it's going to be trouble. So,
I can't. Oh my God, you're getting everybody excited. We have Basement Boy there, so he's so much more excited now, especially after listening to you and understanding that narrative that you're going for. And Alice,
he's gonna be fun. He's gonna be a fun character.
Allison says it reminds more of the High Plains Drifter.
That's all those you can put like all of those types of movies into the blender and blend them out and pour it out, and you just go, here's part of who this guy is. And what makes those characters cool to me was, like I said, none of them had a sense of humor. They were all businessmen. They just go, it's time to go get the bad guys, right? I mean, it's sort of what Batman does. He puts on the costume and he goes, time to go scare the bad guys, right? So I've always been attracted by people who are sort of no nonsense about it, right? And so this is why, I'm not a big fan of sort of the superhero movies, because people are cracking jokes the whole time. And for me personally, I can't go for that ride because I just know I would never do it myself. So I'll give you an example, and here's why. Here's my personality now. I played baseball. I played at a very high level at university, right?
All right. And
so I was a goofball, right? Do at practice. I ran a lot of laps because the coach would go, Todd, stop. You gotta go. But when the game started, bam. And I walked between the two lines of that diamond, bam. And my girlfriend, who's now my wife, I remember she used to go, Todd, it doesn't look like you're having any fun out there. And I'm like, what? She goes, you never smile. You never do anything. You don't jump up and down. And I'm like, because I'm doing my job. And my job is, when I played outfield, when the ball comes in the air, catch it. And when you get to the plate, hit the ball. And if you can, get a base hit. And when you're on base, if you got a chance, score a run. That's my job. So I'm not thinking about it in terms of, oh, let's have fun. I caught a ball. It's my job is, there's a ball, get it. And that's an out. And then you're at the plate. You better drive this curveball right now, because otherwise you're going to go out, Todd. And so at the end of the game, I was okay. And it was weird because I never wanted anybody to really pat me on the back, right? I just like, even if I got the game-winning hit, I was like, it was my job. I was supposed to get the hit. But if my teammates did it, I was really happy for them, right? So it was weird. I didn't imply the same enthusiasm that I did.
I do the same. Like, everybody does great. Yeah, if I do something, they tell me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just doing what I need to do. Ain't nothing else. And let me, you just made a new fan here, Brad Selden. That's cool. I never ordered sport before.
If I use that as,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wow. Thank you. We're looking for newbies. We're looking for newbies in this game right now. So.
Yep. And Basement Boy is asking, is Haunt part of the Scorched? Because I know I was very happy to see the return of that character, because yet another whole run that I have.
He's not at the beginning, but he probably will be. So this is the interacting. This is the, if you think of the Scorched as like a sports team, the roster is gonna rotate over time, right? So.
Yeah. And I have another question here. Blind Adam, shout out. He goes, how much knowledge of Spawn do you need to enjoy this series?
Oh, I don't think you do if you just like tough guy stories. If you have some knowledge about what spawns are about, it may enhance it. But hopefully, if I give enough explanation without getting too heavy-handed, and I point a couple of continuity asterisk boxes to some of the issues that will fill in some of the blank. So I think I would argue Gunslinger is a way easier jumping on point for a new reader than King Spawn, because King Spawn still comes with 300 issues of the prior, original Spawn being there. This guy is a new character who's never had his own story, so we're all about to go on the same ride together.
So would you say the same of the Scorched title when that comes?
Well, I mean, if you think about it like the Avengers, then when they say, hey, Iron Man, either you don't know who that is or you do know who that is, right? So I knew when I was buying team books that it was an amalgamation of these other characters in these other single books. So in this case, Spawn and Gunslinger are going to both have their own book, so you're going to know who they are. And then, She Spawn and Medieval Spawn have been hanging around for a while. So I'll get into them, but it's going to be the place where I'm going to be able to expand their personalities a lot more than I am right now. So.
Excellent. And then I have a question as well there, because seeing Horn come back, I know there was another book it did, Savior. Yeah. Are we going to see anything on that within the title of Spawn? Any Savior tied in any way?
I've always thought of that as a separate IP, but it's possible depending on where my head's at on any given day or week or month. So I may just go, he's cool, I'm putting him in. So, but for right now, I don't see him being part of this.
Okay, because I always thought he was a cool fit just based on that type of story you were doing. Like, all right, this could be a lighter side, if you will.
The Savior was, I wrote that one and created that one for the idea of people who, like my wife, who might not like superhero stuff and people in costumes, that how could I get her to watch something that was a little fantastical? And the answer was that I needed to make it all real, except for this one person, and then see what the ripple effects are from the rest of the world that's normal to the presence of the one person. So, and just like today, all of a sudden they said, hey, some guy appeared out of nowhere and he can lift cars over his head with one finger. All of us in the world would have an opinion and a reaction to it, right? So trying to sort of play on some of those.
Oh, you scared me. I thought you saw me lift the car the other day. Now, I'm happy about this because, I'm an indie guy, right? And Gunslinger Spawn, I want to go back to sales for a minute. Gunslinger Spawn's total sales are apparently bigger than those of Spider-Gwen 2015. And there hasn't been a comic close to that number in the 20 years prior. Like, bro, yeah, smash Marvel. I love it.
Yeah, like I said, we've had a pretty good run, but I would say that's true for independent comic books as a whole. Image Comics has had a bunch. I understand, Boom with James Tynion, the Fort's new book did killer numbers. So that's I think that's awesome, right? For basically companies that are smaller than the big two, and more importantly, for creators that basically ownership in those ideas. So good for everybody. We're thriving right now. So.
Excellent. That's how everybody should be now. Okay, now let's see. So this is Blind Adam again. He goes, would you ever entertain the idea of putting your material in an audiobook format or in Braille for people who love your work but have vision issues?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible. Unfortunately, I don't have the bandwidth to do that myself. So if somebody was to come to me and say, hey, Todd, we've got this idea we want to do. Can we have the rights to it? I'd probably be okay with all of it. So.
Oh, there you go. Awesome sauce, Start pimping it like you do. He's the comic pimp, apparently. This is great. I really can't wait to see the book because, again, this book drops October 20th, right?
Yeah.
Again, this is part of 4 brand new number ones. Now, just in that language, are we going to get more number ones down the line, or are you going to hold it at these 4 titles for X amount of time and then maybe expand?
No, I've got other ideas already planned.
Oh, damn.
But again, I didn't want to come out with like 4 in 1 month or 4
No, and thank you for that.
Every month or whatever. I wanted the retailers to be able to have data of the previous book before they ordered the next one. I wanted them to be able to say, hey, I sold Spawn's Universe, so I can buy King Spawn. Oh, I sold King Spawn also. I can buy Gunslinger. Oh, hey, you know what? All 3 of them are doing good. I can buy Scorched. I want to pace it so that everybody can digest what it is that they've got before I start adding any more big pieces to it.
Is that something that was advice given to you, or something you've learned in your journey to handle it that way?
I had to make a plan. So the plan was put the event book out, start with the first monthly book, better be Spawn. Why? It's a known quantity. The retailers know who it is. The fans know who it is. Then busts open into the unknown character, but he's badass, called Gunslinger. And then if all 3 of those work, then that team book should basically just keep, all you're doing is just adding another brick on top of each one. But the first one had to work with the Spawn Universe. And so I put that, I made that his high quality and as many pages and as low a price as I possibly could to make that work. And then the King Spawn comes and that worked, and then the next one. And so it's, we've got some momentum going. That's all you can ask for. And we've got, and if nothing else, at $2.99, let me just also say at $2.99, once you get past the first issue, all of them are going to be $2.99. If you're curious and you've never read a Spawn book, you're not going to break the bank. It's going to be $2.99 for you to basically sample a book here or a book there if you want. And then if it's to your liking, keep buying it. If not, go find a book that you enjoy more.
And I definitely appreciate that $2.99 price line. Obviously, there's so many other comic book companies that do not abide by that, even give us less pages for more. But you're somebody that definitely held that, and I applaud you for that. Thank you. So again, the Gunslinger is October 20th. When does the Scorched drop?
That will be in December. So again, the books have been coming out, June, August, October, December. So sometime in December. I don't know if we know the exact week, but December release for that one.
All right, now leave with this last question because I know you got to get that to the publishers. So once we have all these 4 titles out, would you ever have yet another event book that ties in all 4, or would you keep events separate?
I'm less concerned about those kinds of things. If I've got some big idea, maybe I'll cross it over in a couple books or something. But for now, I want each one of these books to sort of find their own footing and not be. Yeah. I don't want to make it so that any fan feels that if they don't buy all 4, that somehow it doesn't make sense. I don't want that to be that.
And that's far from the truth, right? They're all standalone series.
Right. So here's 4 books. If you like Spawn, you can get him twice a week or twice a month. If you like Gunslinger, he's cool. And then if you like team books, it's there. So, but if one appeals to you more than the other, I'll be happy if you buy 1 out of 4, right? I'm again, beggars and choosers. I'm happy to have anybody sort of in sort of the house of all the ideas that I come up with. So cool, right? And if somebody wants to buy all 4, I'll tip my hat to them, 4 times. So.
Oh man, well that's me, and I'm getting every cover too. I can't help it, Todd. You it's my favorite character. That's my boy. I love it. All right, so this is the real final question here. With cons and all, being done? Are you going to be making any Comic-Con appearances, going forward for the rest of the year?
Don't know. Right. Still hesitant on, doing that right now. We gave serious consideration to the New York Comic-Con, but ultimately, as of right now, though something just came up yesterday that might change my mind, but for right now, and I don't know. And our family have been touched by COVID a little bit, so we're being a little bit cautious. So, everybody just making their own decisions on what they want to do. So that's it. And it's frustrating, Al, as you know, because it's kind of cool to go out there and get to meet, the good people who support your book and give you basically a job, right?
Yeah. The last time I saw you was SDCC, man, and you were just sitting there at the booth, shaking hands, smiling, and making all the fans happy, man. Great energy, that booth. Let me tell you.
Good, man. Right, it's good because the fans are awesome, right? So, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating for all of us right now. But when it makes sense, I'll get back out there and I'll do my thing. So,
excellent. And just so you know, Mayhem Madness says he cannot wait for Gunslinger Spawn. and Basement Boy said that Spawn Universe was the first Spawn comic he's ever purchased and have not got all the comics in the universe since. So,
thank you. Well, you know what? Besides the diehard loyalists who've been there for a long time, the other one that's got me excited is, talking and bringing on quote unquote the newbies, right? So that means we get to have a relationship with people we've never had before, which is kind of fun and cool at the same time.
Six Element goes, he bought Spawn #1 on the newsstand when it first dropped, and every issue till 15, and then he started chasing chicks,
Yeah, wow. That was wow. Before he had hair on his ass, he was buying comic books. It's cool.
And there goes my little brother Daniel Black goes, he bought all the Spawn figures, includes a Gunslinger. He loves everything, and it's hard to find overpriced on eBay because he's trying to get another one. He goes, people are raping it. He got one, he wants another, can't get it.
Yeah, no. They came out and blew out pretty fast. I think they were on pre-order, and I think they said they sold out in like 7 minutes or something like that. So
Jesus, 7 minutes, coño, that's quick. Are we gonna see a version 2 release then to appease the appetites of fans that didn't get that first version?
Yeah, but we're gonna have to differentiate it enough so the people who did get it are still, the value. So.
Excellent. Well, there you go. And Six Element is laughing, says thank you very much. Exactly. Allison says she has number 300 signed by you from Boston.
Wow!
Amazing Spider-Man 300 signed by you in Boston. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's almost like the last time practically, right? So.
Crazy. Well, all right, Spawn, let me allow you to get back to work. Thank you for sharing the greatness of Gunslinger, what we can expect, what we're going to get with that, and the Scorched and the whole Spawn universe. It's Spawn for life for me. So thank you, brother, and much luck and success on this title, every other title, and everything else you do. And Comic Crusaders is your home. So, welcome back, kiddo, when the next stuff is coming.
All right. Appreciate it, Al.
Thank you. Have a great day, brother. Bye. All right, buddy. I would definitely be good. Definitely. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit ComicCrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at UndercoverCapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.